Hello, it is, I think we have started streaming. Okay, finally I confirmed that I am actually into live. Now I'm going to start my um, course on Microsoft application layer and transport layer. Okay, I'm going to start from the application layer part. Uh, Web HTTP and HTTPS file transfer, FTP, PuTTY, WinSCP, electronic mail, DNS, P2P applications, WebSocket, WebSocket, application server concepts and concept of traffic analyzer, MRTZ, PRTZ, SMMP, packet tracer, Wireshark, etc. Okay, first of all, I will read from a hard copy. Then we will start solving MCQ problem from various sites. What is the first application layer? Web HTTP and HTTPS. This one is what I'm going to study for now. Web is one of the major communication technologies that has changed the way people live and work. The www today is a distributed client server service in which client using a browser can access a service using a server. The service provider is distributed over many locations called sites. The web server is a repository of information in which documents and web pages are linked together. Uh, what I grasp from that information is mainly web is a distributed network. First point, and second point is it repository of information in which documents are stored between client and server. Mainly documents are stored in server. When client requests and document web document from a server, then it provides the document HTTP document from the server to the client. That is the summary for the web. Now HTTP now HTTP, it's a Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Uh, It is the framework for web, and HTTP, the web application layer protocol, is the heart of the web. HTTP is the simplest request response protocol that is normally runs over TCP. Okay, transmission control protocol. It runs into the transmission control protocol. It is implemented in two programs: client program and server program. The client program and server program executing on different end system, different end system the different end system talk to each other by exchanging HTTP messages. HTTP is the most popular application protocol used in internet. It defines how many clients request web pages from the server and how servers transfer web pages to the clients. Okay. When user requests the web page, browser sends the HTTP request messages for an object in a web page to the server. When clients makes an request, the browser makes an HTTP request for an object in a web in a web page in a page located into the browser. That is a main. It resides. It works on TCP transmission transport layer. It works on is, transport layer of the OS. What is that? Transmission control protocol. I think this whole framework is called. Uh, that is called TCP IP model and OSI model. OSI model. OSI stands for Open System Interconnections. Open System Interconnection, and it works on transport layer. Runs over TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. It is application layer protocol, and it runs on TCP. HTTP messages. Request an object to the server. Request serverलाई object request गर्छ and पेज चाहिँ response ग्रुपमा पाउँछ. The response that contains HTTP message as their underlying transport layer protocol. HTTP client first initiates the transport connection with the server. Once the connection is established, HTTP client first initiate TCP connection over the client. Once the connection is established, browser and server possesses access TCP through their socket interface. The default port for HTTP is 80. पहिला टिसिपी कनेक्सन हुन्छ. टिसिपी कनेक्सन भएपछि चाहिँ अनि एचटिटिपी मेसेजहरू एक्सचेन्ज हुन्छ. अनि एक्सचेन्ज भएपछि बल्ल हाम्रो चाहिँ रिक्वेस्ट र रेस्पोन्स लिने कामहरू चाहिँ हुँदो रहेछ. फर्स्ट टिसिपी कनेक्सन चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो. Through their socket interface. HTTP is a pull protocol. The client pulls information from the server. Here, client accesses the authorized data and pulls it from the server. The server does not process it to the client. Instead, client pulls the information from the server. Okay, it is a pull protocol in summary. Now, HTTPS. HTTPS is a communication protocol for a secure communication over computer network, which especially wide deployment in internet. Technically, it is not a protocol in itself. Rather, it is a result of simply layering HTTP on the top of SSL. Okay, it is not a different protocol from HTTP protocol itself, but it is protocol, secure protocol built on the top of HTTP protocol. Okay, it is not a protocol in itself, rather than a result of simply HTTP, layering of HTTP on the top of SSL TLS protocol. Layering of HTTP on the top of SSL secure socket layer and TLS transport layer security protocol. Secure socket layer and transport layer security. Enterprises are utilizing HTTPS for everything from commerce to mission critical application. It is underlying protocol for secure web-based application for communicating internally with employees and externally with partners. It is relevant for this. It is popular deployment on the internet. HTTPS provide authentication of the website. Okay, first one is authentication to the websites. Uh, Associated web server. Authentication to the website associated web servers. Mm, that one is communicating to, which protects man in middle attacks. Because of encryption technology between clients and the server. As we have studied yesterday, and there is encryption mechanism between client and server, uh, in so that the man in the middle cannot intercept the messages between client and server. So we use SSL technology, SSL and TLS technology, full form being secure socket layer and transport layer security, that communicating with, which protects against man in the middle attacks. Additionally, it provides bidirectional encryption of that's what I am talking about. It provides bidirectional encryption of communication between client and server, which protects against in eavesdropping and tampering with the contents of the communication. Okay. Port address for HTTPS is 443. Port address for SATP is 80, whereas port address for SATPS is 443. SATPS use SATP with an encryption on secure socket layer or a transport layer secure encryption on secure socket layer or transport layer security connection to provide encryption and secure identification of server. SSL builds a secure connection between two sockets, including parameter negotiation between client and server, uh, authentication of server by a client, parameter negotiation, between and authentication of server by client, secret communication, data security protection to operate web server to accept SATPS connection. The administrator must create a public key encryption certification for web server. We need to request SSL certificate from trusted certificate authority. Okay. To accept, the administrator must create a public key certifications. public सर्भरले चाहिँ हाम्रो एसएटिपिएस एक्सेप्ट गर्नलाई चाहिँ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटरले चाहिँ हामीलाई पब्लिक की सर्टिफिकेसन चाहिँ दिनुपर्ने हुन्छ. वी मस्ट क्रिएट पब्लिक सर्टिफिकेसन फर वेब सर्भरको लागि हो यो चाहिँ, वेबसाइटको लागि होइन, यो वेब सर्भरको लागि चाहिँ हामीले पब्लिक की सर्टिफिकेसन चाहिँ क्रिएट गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ. वी निड टु रिक्वेस्ट एसएसएल सर्टिफिकेट फ्रम ट्रस्टेड सर्टिफिकेट अथोरिटी. पब्लिक की सर्टिफिकेसन बनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ. एसएसएल सर्टिफिकेसन चाहिँ हाम्रो ट्रस्टेड सर्टिफिकेट अथोरिटीबाट लिनुपर्ने हुन्छ. डिप्लोय एसएटिपिएस. The encryption mechanism is used between client and server for transferring data. अब एसएटिपिएस बनाउन के चाहिने भयो? पहिला फर्स्टमा हामीले पब्लिक की इन्क्रिप्सन चाहिँ हाम्रो बनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, क्रिएट गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ फ्रम द trusted certificate authority, and we must take certificate from SSL certification, which provides encryption for communication between client and server. What are the differences? So I think I have completed this much. Now I will read the differences between TCP and HTTP and HTTPS. The hypertext, first of all, the full form is the difference. HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol, and HTTPS means hypertext transfer protocol with security, secure, uh, with secure. It is secure. It is less secure as the data can be vulnerable to hackers. It uses by default. It is designed to prevent hackers from accessing critical information. It is secure against such attacks. It uses 443 by default. It is obvious. Now, HTTP URL begins with HTTP. HTTPS URL begins with HTTPS colon double s forward s. It is also obvious. It is a good fit for a website designed for information consumption like blogs. It is also obvious, and it is HTTPS is needed for commerce websites like commerce, banking transactions, and त्यही त होला नि होइन if the website needs to collect the private information चाहिएको भने चाहिँ हाम्रो क्रेडिट कार्ड नम्बरहरू चाहिने त्यस्तो त्यस्तो वेबसाइटको लागि चाहिँ एचटिटिपिएस चाहिँ नभई हुँदैन अब एचटिटिपी डु नट स्क्रैम्बल द डाटा टु बी ट्रान्समिटेड scramble meaning encryption that way there is a higher chance that transmitted data is available to the hackers. HTTPS scrambles the data. Scramble meaning encryption at the receiver ends. It descrambles to recover the original data. Therefore, the transmitted information is secure, which cannot be hacked. It operates on TCP/IP level. HTTPS do not have separate protocol. It operates on HTTP, but uses TLS SSL connection. TLS SSL. It does not separate. It does not have any separate protocol. TLS, but uses TLS SSL connection. It uses HTTP website does not need SSL and does not use encryption. SSL certificate. It requires SSL certificate. SSL do not improve search ranking. It is new. I think HTTPS improves search ranking, which helps in SEO. It is fast and vulnerable to hacker. It is slower than HTTP. It is fast. Okay, basic information has been consumed. Now, HTTPS keys. A communication protocol is encrypted using privacy and integrity. Integrity meaning the content of the data cannot be changed in between the hackers, and privacy meaning the the content of the data that is transmitted between server and client is not intercepted or leaked to any hackers, and it is unmodifiable by the man in middle of the exchange where the man in the middle attacks bidirectional blocks encryption communication client and server, protects the communication and tempering aspects of a third party to sign server side digital certificates. Third party meaning SSL certificates, SSL TLS certificates through which we can make SSL TLS SSL TLS connection between client and server. browser developer to the or, protect traffic to protect traffic. Query parameters. Okay. Mm, okay. This is a key point. Mm, we have graphs basic idea about HTTP and HTTPS. Now we'll start read file transfer, FTP, PuTTY, WinSCP from the soft copy. This is about 1.5 page long. Now, and we will read from the software Wikipedia as well. Now I'm going to start file transfer, FTP, PuTTY, WinSCP. File transfer is a generic term for mm, acting transmitting files over file transfer is a generic term for acting act of transmitting files over a computer network like the internet, transmitting file, not a document. All right. There are numerous ways and protocols to transfer files over a network computer, which provides file transfer and file servers. FTP, File Transfer Protocol, standard mechanism provided by TCP/IP for copying file from one host to another. It is like HTTP runs on the top of copying file. FTP is like copying file from one um, host to another, and it is almost like HTTP but runs on the top of TCP. However, unlike HTTP, FTP uses two parallel TCP connections to transfer file, a control connection and a data connection. Two connections. Unlike HTTP, it is just like HTTP, but only difference between HTTP and TCP connection are TCP connection uses uh, bidirectional connection, which means two connections, control connections and con data connection, whereas HTTP uses only one connection, and both are works on the top of HTTP, on the top of TCP, runs on the top of TCP, two parallel TCP connections. And the control connection is used for sending control information like password identification commands, put, get, password identification and commands. And the data connection is used send user to send a file. Two connection, it control connection on port 21 and data connection on port 20. File transfer protocol establishes two different connections between client and server. One is for the data transfer, and the control connection is used to between client and server uses the simple rules of the FTP. The control connection used between client and server uses simple rule of communication. Only one line of command at a time or a line of response is transferred at a time. But more complex rule used by the data connection due to variety of data types being transferred. Uh, Control connection is simple because it only mm, communicate one command at a time, or one response at a time through control connection, whereas mm, but data connection is a bit complex due to its various data types being transferred between client and server. Due to variety of data types being transferred, FTP uses port 21 for data control connection, which is used for information control, and port 20 for data connection, which is used for data and file transfer. The control of the control connection is maintained during entire FTP session. Control चाहिँ हाम्रो इन्टर एफटिपी कनेक्सन हुन्जेलसम्मको लागि चाहिँ कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन भइरहेको छ, तर डाटा कनेक्सन चाहिँ नहुन पनि सक्छ त्यो बेला होइन. And data connection is first open and the file are being transferred and connection is closed. Data connection is first open and file are being transferred and connection is closed. File transfer भइसकेपछि connection close हुन्छ. त्यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ उसमा चाहिँ के अरे कनेक्सन कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सनमा चाहिँ throughout the connection चाहिँ कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन चाहिँ मेन्टेन भइरहेको हुन्छ टिसिपी प्रोटोकलमा. But in data connection, डाटा ट्रान्सफर हुँदाखेरि ओपन हुन्छ अनि डाटा क्लोज भएपछि कनेक्सन क्लोज हुन्छ। इट इज डन फर ट्रान्सफरिङ इच फाइल। ओके, अब अर्को फाइल त ट्रान्सफर गर्नु पऱ्यो भने कनेक्सन ओपन भइरहेको छ, कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन। अर्को फाइल नै ट्रान्सफर गर्नु छ भने चाहिँ हाम्रो नयाँ डाटा कनेक्सन ओपन गर्नु पऱ्यो, नयाँ डाटा फाइल पठाउनु पऱ्यो अनि त्यो पनि क्लोज गरिदिनु पऱ्यो। क्लोज गरेपछि हुने भयो नि त। युजर इन्टरफेस, कन्ट्रोल प्रोसेस, स्टोरेज इन्टरफेस, user interface, control process, data transfer process, स्टोरेजबाट पहिला सुरु हामी उसबाट हेरौँ न, क्लाइन्टले हेरौँ। क्लाइन्टको तिनवटा भाग हुन्छ। युजर इन्टरफेस भनेको युजरले इन्टरेक्ट गर्ने देखिने भाग भयो, युआई भयो। कन्ट्रोल प्रोसेस र हाम्रो डाटा ट्रान्सफर प्रोसेस चाहिँ अन्डरलाइङ सर्भिसेस प्रोभाइडेड बाई क्लाइन्ट which communicate with a storage and server. कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन मेन्टेन हुन्छ, डाटा कनेक्सन नि मेन्टेन हुन्छ, कन्ट्रोल प्रोसेस रन हुन्छ कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सनसँग, डाटा ट्रान्सफर प्रोसेस हुन्छ डाटा कनेक्सनसम्म, अनि स्टोरेज हुन्छ। A typical FTP session, in a typical FTP session, user is sitting in the top in front of one host and wants to transfer file to or from remote host. In order to access remote account, the user must provide the user identity and password. After providing the authorization, the user can transfer file from local file system to the remote file system. पहिला सुरु टिसिपी कनेक्सन हुनलाई चाहिँ हामीले आइडेन्टिफिकेसन र पासवर्ड प्रोभाइड गर्नु पर्यो। त्यो भएपछि कनेक्सन इस्टाब्लिस हुन्छ। इस्टाब्लिस भएपछि हामीले चाहिँ फाइल लोकल फाइल सिस्टमसँग अथराइजेसन भयो। आफ्टर प्रोभाइडिङ अथराइजेसन ट्रान्सफर, shown in the figure, user interacts FTP through FTP user agent. The user first provides the hostname of the remote host, which causes the FTP client process in the local host to establish TCP connection with the FTP server process in the remote host. The users then provides FTP user agent. The user provides one hostname host. FTP user agentले चाहिँ FTP सर्भर प्रोसेस, रिमोट होस्टसँग चाहिँ FTP सर्भर प्रोसेस हुन्छ। FTP सर्भर प्रोसेस हाम्रो युजरसँग क्लाइन्टसँग चाहिँ FTP युजर एजेन्ट हुन्छ। FTP युजर एजेन्टले FTP client process, server process, FTP client process in the local host, establish TCP connection with access servers and remote host. Then the user sends to the TCP connection as the FTP commands. When server authorizes the user copies one authorizes the user as the server authorizes the user. User copies one or more files stored in the local file system into remote file system. TCP FTP भनेको यही भयो। मेनली चाहिँ FTP भनेको HTTP जस्तै हो, तर दुईटा कनेक्सन युज हुन्छ। दुईटा कनेक्सन भनेको कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन र डाटा कनेक्सन। कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन थ्रु आउट द प्रोसेस चाहिँ हाम्रो चलिरहेको हुन्छ भनेदेखि हाम्रो डाटा कनेक्सन चाहिँ हरेक फाइल पछि ओपन, डाटा ट्रान्सफर एन्ड क्लोज हुने गर्छ। अब त्यो भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो 20मा रन हुन्छ कन्ट्रोल कनेक्सन, 21मा रन हुन्छ डाटा कनेक्सन, अनि त्यसपछि युजर क्लाइन्ट FTP क्लाइन्ट प्रोसेस हुन्छ, FTP सर्भर प्रोसेस हुन्छ। FTP क्लाइन्ट प्रोसेस चाहिँ हाम्रो ह्यान्डल गर्छ FTP युजर एजेन्टले। FTP युजर एजेन्टसँग हुन्छ पासवर्ड एन्ड पासवर्ड र हाम्रो कीहरू हुन्छ कि त्यसले चाहिँ हामीलाई युजर सर्भरसँग अथराइज गर्न अनि अथराइजेसन गर्न मद्दत गर्छ। अनि अथराइजेसन भएपछि हाम्रो प्रोसेस मतलब डाटा ट्रान्सफर प्रोसेस सुरु हुन्छ। त्यसपछि अनि हाम्रो लोकल एजेन्टले चाहिँ हाम्रो रिमोट सर्भर एजेन्टसँग चाहिँ कम्युनिकेट गर्छ। त्यसपछि भयो हाम्रो एफटिपी त्यसरी चाहिँ काम गर्छ। नाउ टिएफटिपी यो पनि छैन टिएफटिपी। एफटिपी छ टिएफटिपी त छैन रहेछ होइन। टिएफटिपी छैन भनेदेखि यो नपढ्दा नि हुन्छ कि सर पढौँ एकचोटि। एक प्याराग्राफ हो टिएफटिपी इज अ मिनिमल प्रोटोकल फर ट्रान्सफर फाइल विदाउट authentication. There is no separate ports for control and data as is an FTP. TCP is frequently used by the devices used for permanent storage for copying an initial memory image from remote server when devices are powered on. For copying initial memory image from the remote server. FTP uses unreliable transfer protocol UDP for data transfer. Unreliable use हुन्छ त्यो टिएफटिपी भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो ट्रिभियल फाइल ट्रान्सफर प्रोटोकल हो। ट्रिभियल फाइल ट्रान्सफर प्रोटोकलले चाहिँ हाम्रो युडिपी युज हुन्छ विच इज कन्सिडर लेस लेस सेक्योर देन टिसिपी कनेक्सन। टिसिपी कनेक्सन मोर सेक्योर हुन्छ। ट्रिभियल एफटिपीले चाहिँ हाम्रो दुईवटा कनेक्सन युज हुँदैन, एउटै कनेक्सन युज हुन्छ होला सायद होइन। अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो अथराइजेसन पनि हुँदैन। त्यसले चाहिँ हाम्रो सर्भर मेमोरी इनिसियल सर्भर मेमोरीको स्न्यापसट लिन्छ, त्यही त होला। विदाउट पर्मानेन्ट स्टोरेज त्यही हो। अब विन एससिपी छ। विन एससिपी चाहिँ हाम्रो भयो इज द स्मल फ्री ओपन सोर्स यो सोर्स फाइल ट्रान्सफर प्रोटोकल। स्मल फ्री ओपन सोर्स फाइल ट्रान्सफर क्लाइन्ट अनि फाइल ट्रान्सफर क्लाइन्ट फर विन्डोज। यो चाहिँ विन्डोजको लागि रहेछ। फाइल ट्रान्सफर क्लाइन्ट ओपन सोर्स फाइल ट्रान्सफर क्लाइन्ट सेक्योर कपी विन्डोज सेक्योर कपी। विन एससिपी भनेको चाहिँ विन्डोज सेक्योर कपी रहेछ। एसएस सेक्योर सिपी मिन्स कपी। विन एससिपी सेक्योर कपी। कपी के गर्ने भन्दा फाइल गर्ने। फाइल हाम्रो ओपन सोर्स र स्मल छ। पछि सेक्योर सेल टेक्नोलोजी to enable the safe copying of files from local and remote PC using file transfer protocol. फाइल ट्रान्सफर प्रोटोकलले युज हुन्छ, एफटिपी नै युज हुन्छ। यसमा चाहिँ विन्डोजले युज गर्छ, स्मल अनि ओपन सोर्स हो। फाइल ट्रान्सफर हुन्छ बिट्विन लोकल एन्ड रिमोट। एफटिपी युज हुन्छ, एसएचएच एफटिपी हुन्छ। एससिपी भनेको सेक्योर कपी युज हुन्छ, प्रोटोकल युज हुन्छ। तिनवटा प्रोटोकलहरू युज गरेर चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यो विन एससिपी कम्प्लिट हुन्छ। offering basic management feature for proper operation of the information. For secure transfer, WinSCP uses secure shell. Secure shell SSH means secure shell, and supports SCP. SCP means secure copy protocol, which in addition to SFTP, secure file transfer protocol. SFTP protocol application is based on implementation of SSH protocol from PuTTY and FTP protocol from FileZilla for secret transfer. FTP protocol from FileZilla, SSH protocol from PuTTY. यो पनि सकियो लगभग। पुटी भनेको चाहिँ के हो भनेदेखि is one of the free and open source terminal emulator. There's a terminal emulator application which can act as client program and communicate with the server for SSH, Telnet, RLogin, and ROT TCP computing protocol, with where clients claiming the secure transfer of the data. PuTTY, the open source application, while originally written for Microsoft Windows by its developers. Open source application was originally written for Windows, but it has been ported to various other operating systems. यसै पहिले सुरु विन्डोजमा माइक्रोसफ्ट विन्डोजको लागि बनाएको थियो फ्री एन्ड ओपन सोर्सको लागि द official ports from Microsoft Windows are available for Unix like platforms, and they work in the progress to uplift MSOS X, classic Mac OS, and official ports defined by source are being contributed on platform like Symbian, Windows Mobile emulator application which can act as client program and communicate the server or open source terminal emulator हुनेछ PUTTY it is a free open source and network transfer file transfer application terminal emulator application which access to communicate server for secure transfer of data. Open source terminal emulator which claims as a client, which can act as a client program that can communicate with a remote server for the security SSH, Telnet, or login computing protocols for secure transfer of data. Secure use गर्छ Now, what is the third one? I have completed this one, then this one, FTP. FTP. Okay. Shattered control connection with client and server. Now, electronic mail. Twenty-seven, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27. Now. Electronic mail, DNS, DNS the sign P2P application. Electronic mail. DNS the sign आता है यार. Electronic mail. One of the most popular email is synchronous, asynchronous. Email is asynchronous, meaning people can send and receive messages on it convenient without needing a lot of paper schedules. Components of electronic mail. भयो DNS भइहाल्यो, P2P भइहाल्यो, P2P. Containing P2P applications, peer-to-peer applications, socket programming, application over concept, application server concepts, proxy caching, MRTZ, PRTZ, SMTP, SMMP, file transfer. Electronic mail. Along with web and electronic mail is one of the most popular Internet applications. Email is asynchronous. Asynchronous is a key means people can send and read messages when it's convenient for them without needing to coordinate with other people's schedule. Uh, User agent. The first component of electronic mail system is a user agent. The user agent provides the mail services to user. User agent provides the mail services to the user to make process of sending and receiving the mail easier and efficient manner. It is a software package that composes, reads, and applies to and forward message transfer agent. The actual mail transfer is done through message transfer agent (MTS). The system must possess the MTA client to send the mail and MTA server to receive the mail. MTA client and server on the internet is called Simple Mail Transfer Protocol (SMTP). Defines the formal protocol for it. And message access agent. SMTP cannot be the SMTP cannot be used to obtain message. Obtaining message is a pull operation, whereas SMTP is a push protocol. Cannot be used to obtain a message. Cannot obtain used to obtain a message. It is a pull operation, whereas SMTP is a obtaining a message is pull operation, whereas SMTP is a push operation, push protocol. It pushes the message from client to the server. Pull protocol is needed to access the mail, as a client must pull messages from the server. Hence the message hence the message access agent is used to access the mail. Access SMTP चाहिँ हाम्रो push protocol भयो. SMTP हाम्रो pull SMTP is a push protocol. It pushes the message. Pull protocol is needed. Pull protocol needed भएर from the server, hence the message is used. SMTP is a push protocol. When the sender finishes composing his or her message, the corresponding user agent sends the message to the mail server ongoing queue, mail message queue. When the receiver wants to read a message, receiver user agent obtains the message from the receiver mailbox in the mail server. User agent, MTA client, message access agent, SMTP server, SMTA client, LAN or WAN, Jabra MTA server, MTA client, MTA server, MTA client, MTA server लेसे हाम्रो MTA client सँग interact गर्छ. A high level view of internet email system, MTA user agent, mail server, mail access agent, mail access, mail transfer agent client, mail transfer agent server. What is SMTP? SMTP is a protocol that defines MTA client, mail transfer agent, that defines MTA client and server on the internet. It uses reliable data transfer service of TCP to transfer mail from sender mail to recipient mail server, from sender mail to receiver. SMTP has two sides, client side. Defines MTA client and mail transfer agent, mail access. Current sender is include some sender's mail server. Sure. Both client and server sides SMTP run on every mail server. When mail server receives the mail, it has SMTP client, SMTP server. Working of SMTP first client and server connection on port 25. However, the SMTP port 25 bar server is down. Client tries an emulator. TCP connection server. Once the connection is established, server and client performs some application layer unchecking. Unchecking phase, SMTP client indicates the email address of sender and email address of the recipient. Indicates the email address of चेकिङमा चाहिँ मेल एड्रेस चाहिँ एक्सचेन्ज हुन्छ, टिसिपी कनेक्सन हुन्छ। अनि ट्राई गर्छ, भएन भने कनेक्सन, सर्भर डाउन छ भने कनेक्सन भएन भने अन्त कनेक्सन इज स्टेब्लिस, सर्भरले पर्फर्म एप्लिकेसन क्लियर ह्यान्ड हुन्छ। ह्यान्ड चाहिँ हाम्रो इमेल एड्रेस सेन्डर र रिसिभरको चाहिँ हाम्रो हुन्छ। क्लाइन्ट introduce themselves to each other. Client sends the messages. LS agent. Sir, client server भयो, मेल सर्भर भयो, एसएमटिपी भयो, अनि बस मेल सर्भरमा गयो। त्यसपछि बस LS user agent to compose a mail and send to boy or some school letter TP. User agent sends mails to our email server and message placed in a message queue for sending. Client of SMTP opens up the TCP connection. Client side of SMTP box mail server. SMTP sends message of a TCP connection of mail server. This is a message in the mailbox above. Mail access protocol pull protocols. यो चाहिँ हाम्रो पुस एसएमटिपी के अरे एचटिपी चाहिँ पुल प्रोटोकल भयो। एसएमटिपी चाहिँ हाम्रो पुस प्रोटोकल हुन्छ होला है। एसएमटिपी push protocol, right? The two protocol which transfer the message from receiver's mails to the local PC. Receiver mail to the local PC are POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3, and ICMP protocol. Two protocol when which transfer message from receiver's mail server to local PCR. यसले त पुस गर्यो, एसएमटिपीले त पुस गर्यो। अब मेल सर्भर आइगयो रिसिभरको मेल सर्भरबाट चाहिँ हाम्रो पुल प्रोटोकल युज हुन्छ। पुल प्रोटोकल भनेको POP3 र हाम्रो के भन्छ आइम्याप प्रोटोकल चाहिँ युज हुन्छ। आइम्याप पोस्ट अफिस प्रोटोकल एसएमटिपी सेन्डर फिल्टर एसएमटिपी POP3 रिसिभर त्यही मेन कुरा हामीले भन्नु खोजेको त्यही इमेल प्रोटोकल एज कम्युनिकेटिभ पोस्ट अफिस प्रोटोकल POP3 कि छैन रहेछ। POP3 is a simple mail access protocol but with a limited in functionality. POP3 consists of mail client, POP3 software and the limited functionality. Simple mail access protocol SMAP. POP3 consists of client POP3 software and server POP3 software. The client POP3 software is installed on the second is when the user wants to download email from the mailbox on an email server. Download email from mailbox on an email server. The following event takes place in the sequence. The client is 25 miles protocol 25. SMTP the 25 25 25. 25 years. Client opens the connection with the server with TCP on port 110. Client opens the connection with the server on 110. It sends the username and password to access the mailbox. त्यही हो TCP जस्तै हो the user can list and retrieve the messages one by one. POP 3 POP 3 progresses through three different phases: authorization, transaction, and update. Authorization username and password. Client open connection with the TCP on a TCP port 110. Transaction user agent and retrieve message. Transaction user agent retrieve message. Update occurs after a client quit the command. Transaction user agent retrieve the messages. Transaction user agent retrieve the messages occurs after client quits the command. POP 3 has two modes, delete mode and delete mode. The mail is deleted from after its retrieval. This mode is used when user is working at his permanent computer. Keep mode. The mail retains in the mailbox after retrieval. This mode is used when the user access mail away from the primary controller. Permanent कम्प्युटरमा चाहिँ हाम्रो डिलिट मोडमा काम गर्छ whereas किप मोड चाहिँ हाम्रो अर्को उसबाट प्राइमेरी कम्प्युटर बाहेककोबाट एक्सेस गरेको छ भने चाहिँ disadvantage of POP 3. The user cannot have different folders on the server. User cannot have different folders on the server. User cannot partially check the content of before downloading. Downloading गरेर त्यो पनि हामीले हेर्न मिलेन. Different folders on the server. Cannot have different folders. Folders पनि युज गर्न मिलेन. The nomadic user. Traveler user will prefer maintain folder hierarchy on the remote server can be accessed from any computer. This is not possible with the POP. For the nomadic user, you would prefer maintain folder hierarchy on remote server. Folder hierarchy on remote server that can be accessed from any computer. It is not folder hierarchy. Folder one folder hierarchy facility. Container. IMAP. IMAP is similar to POP 3. But has more feature along with the more complexity since POP 3 has more features. IMAP has the body like it does not allow user to organize or mail on mail server. User cannot have folders in the mail server. User cannot have different folders on the server. In the addition, user cannot allow user to partially check the content of partially check. But always user prefers to maintain mail that can be accessed. This is not possible with POP 3 rather than message when message first arrives, it is associated with inbox folder. Arrive भन्ने inbox folder जान्छ. The recipient can move the message from one folder to another. Unlike POP3, IMAP maintains the state information across IMAP session. For example, names of the folder, state information for which messages are associated which with which I may able to obtain component of messages. IMAP provides the following extra functionality. User can set the email header prior to the downloading. Email header पनि हुन्छ. User can search the contents of the email for a specific string. Content of email for a user can search and anyone opens the mailbox. Now mail is moved or downloaded permanently from host computer. And switch to counter yes, we can see the previous mail. Yes, to go back to the previous. With pop एउटा मात्र फोल्डर हुन्छ इन्डेक्स फोल्डर अनि आइम्यापमा चाहिँ धेरैवटा फोल्डर नै हुन्छ. User cannot access his multimedia email if he has limited bandwidth. If the limited bandwidth is available, then user can partially download the email content. Limited bandwidth पाउँदो रहेछ. POP has only two modes: keep mode and delete mode for messages. Delete, create, delete, rename mailbox. Keep र delete हुन्छ. Create, rename, delete. Create, rename, delete. Multimedia email. Multimedia email गर्नु मिल्दैन. Reading your email from multiple computer, message scattering हुन्छ. Multiple computer can access the same email at the same time. Message storage is limited only by your capacity to your computer, but if your computer fails, you may lose all your messages. Message storage is limited only by the capacity of your computer. Capacity of computer. Message storage. Message storage capacity is 2 GB and there is no effect if your computer fails. Port is 110, 143. Connection requires a small connection time is small and large. Your user back of mailboxes. Actually backs up mailboxes. What is DNS? DNS में बल्ल आयो भने